You set an alarm. You sleep. Simple. At least, that's how it's supposed to work. But every morning, the alarm, the frustration, the feeling that you never actually rested. You stare at the ceiling at 3 in the morning. Again. It's not the first time. And you ask yourself, what is wrong with me? The problem isn't you. The problem is a mismatch between two different eras. For 300,000 years, humans slept differently, fundamentally differently. And only in the last 200 years, something broke. Let me show you exactly what. In 2026, anthropologist Jerome Siegel at UCLA asked this question. He didn't go to a lab. He went to people who live without alarm clocks. 3 hunter-gatherer populations, the Hadza in Tanzania, the San in Namibia, the Tsimane in Bolivia. No electricity, no schedules, no social media. He gave them wristbands that tracked every movement, around the clock, for over 1,000 nights combined. Not one group slept 8 hours. Not one. Siegel combined this data with 1,165 previously published studies spanning 40 years. The average sleep duration was 6 hours and 24 minutes. Not 8, 6 1/4. A number you won't find in any mattress commercial. The 8-hour rule didn't come from brain science. It came from the logic of the Industrial Revolution. The workday needed a clear boundary from the night. It was an administrative standard, not a biological one. Hunter-gatherers fell asleep roughly 3 hours after sunset and woke up just before sunrise, without anxiety, just naturally. The concept of insomnia doesn't exist in these populations. Literally, there is no word for it. But if we are biologically identical to these people, why is everything different for us? To understand this, you need to understand one system, the circadian rhythm. Inside every cell in your body, molecular clocks are ticking. They synchronize with light. Light is the primary signal for this system. When it's bright, activity. When it gets dark, preparation for sleep. The pineal gland releases melatonin when darkness falls. It's a chemical signal, time to sleep. For 300,000 years of human history, this mechanism worked with one source of evening light, fire. Warm, orange, low-frequency firelight barely suppressed melatonin at all. The brain understood, sleep is coming. 1879. Thomas Edison changes everything. The blue spectrum of artificial light directly suppresses melatonin. Your brain receives a signal. It's daytime, even if the clock says 11 at night. Charles Czeisler at Harvard measured this precisely. A phone before bed, 90 minutes of melatonin suppressed. 90 minutes, every night. This isn't a metaphor. It's neurochemistry. You go to bed at midnight, your brain thinks it's 9 in the evening. Sleep doesn't come. You get frustrated. That makes it worse. And in the morning, the alarm cuts the cycle short. Not because you've had enough sleep, because it's time for work. You're running a Stone Age mechanism in the 21st century, and you're surprised when something sparks. But before we get to solutions, there's something crucial to understand about the structure of sleep itself. It's not just about how long you sleep. The problem is when and how sleep is organized. In 2005, historian Roger Ekirch published research based on 500 years of European archives. 15 years of work. Court records, medical treatises, personal diaries. The 17th, 18th, 19th centuries. Every source mentioned first sleep and second sleep as something completely ordinary. Before the Industrial Revolution, people slept in 2 separate periods, with a pause in the middle, around midnight. This pause lasted anywhere from 30 minutes to 2 hours. People didn't consider it insomnia. During this time, they prayed, they read, they talked, they simply lay there and thought. Thomas Wehr at the U.S. National Institutes of Health decided to test this experimentally. He placed volunteers in conditions where darkness lasted 14 hours. No artificial lighting, every night. The first few weeks, participants simply caught up on accumulated sleep debt. And then, on its own, every participant developed two-phase sleep. A first period, a pause, a second period, without any prompting, without any instructions, just a biological program switching back on. During the pause, prolactin levels in the blood were unusually high, a hormone associated with deep relaxation. Participants described this state as very calm, almost meditative, no anxiety. Compare that to how you wake up in the middle of the night now. First thing, the phone, or anxiety about not sleeping. Waking at night isn't pathological. The pathology is our reaction to it. So what exactly changed? 3 key factors that our ancestors never had. First, artificial blue spectrum light in the evening. It delays melatonin and shifts sleep. Second, temperature. Hunter-gatherers slept through the natural drop in temperature at night. We keep our homes at one temperature around the clock. A drop in body temperature before sleep is a physiological trigger for falling asleep. Without it, sleep quality suffers. Third, isolation. Historically, people slept together, families, groups. Sleeping together synchronizes circadian rhythms and lowers cortisol, the stress hormone. Fourth, and possibly the most destructive, is forced waking on a schedule rather than by biological clock. The final REM phase is most intense toward morning. That's exactly what most alarm clocks interrupt. This is called sleep inertia. You move, you speak, but the brain hasn't switched on yet. Screens, alarm clocks, sleeping alone, wrong temperature, one unbroken block at night. Each of these factors appeared recently. Biology isn't ready for them. This isn't weakness of character. It's not laziness. It's a mismatch between environment and biology. The good news? Most of these factors are manageable. Lower the temperature in your bedroom to 18 to 20 degrees before sleep. This is the simplest physiological trigger. An hour before bed, switch to warm orange light, or just dim everything. Screens off 50 minutes before sleep, not because they're bad in general, but because the blue spectrum specifically blocks melatonin. If you wake at night, don't reach for the phone. This is a normal biological pattern. Just lie quietly. In most cases, the second sleep comes on its own. That's exactly how this worked for millennia. Remember, hunter-gatherers slept just over 6 hours, not 8, and they didn't suffer from chronic fatigue. 6 quality hours is better than 8 hours with suppressed melatonin, an alarm in REM, and an overheated room. Sleep science has shifted from asking how much to asking how. Quality matters more than duration. A meta-analysis published in Sleep Medicine Reviews confirmed there is no single optimal sleep duration for all adults. Genetics accounts for up to 40% of the variation. Some people are biologically wired to sleep less and feel fine. Comparing your sleep to an 8-hour standard is like comparing your height to a norm. One indicator? If on a day off you wake up much later without an alarm, you're accumulating a deficit during the week. This is called social jet lag. Your biological clock lives in one rhythm. Your schedule lives in another. A study in Current Biology linked social jet lag to increased risk of metabolic syndrome, diabetes, and depression. Most standard work schedules don't align with the biological peak productivity window for night owls. Chronotype, whether you're wired for morning or evening, is genetically determined. It can't be fixed with willpower. Forcing a night owl into a morning schedule is like making a left-handed person write with their right hand. It's possible, but there's a cost. During sleep, the brain literally cleans itself. The glymphatic system, discovered only in D1000, flushes beta-amyloid and other toxic proteins. Beta-amyloid is one of the markers of Alzheimer's disease. Chronic sleep deprivation accelerates its accumulation. This isn't about feeling tired. It's about long-term brain health. The immune system activates during sleep. One night at 4 hours reduces NK cell activity, the killers of viruses, by 70%. 70% in a single night, without a single drug. Sleep is not a passive state. It's an active biological maintenance program. The culture of, "I sleep 5 hours and I'm proud of it," appeared in the late 20th century. That's exactly when chronic disease rates started climbing. That's a correlation. Direct causality hasn't been proven for every outcome, but the pattern is too consistent to ignore. What can you actually change? 5 things based on biology, not magazine advice. First, bright light first thing in the morning. 10 minutes outside or by a window. This resets the circadian clock. Second, no blue light an hour before bed. Phone, tablet, bright overhead lights, all of it into night mode. Third, bedroom temperature. 18 to 20 degrees Celsius is the optimum according to the Stanford Center for Sleep Sciences. Fourth, a consistent wake time. Every day, including weekends. The circadian system anchors on wake time, not on when you fall asleep. Fifth, if you wake at night, don't turn on the lights, don't look at the clock, don't grab your phone. Let the system do its job. Anxiety about insomnia destroys sleep more powerfully than the waking itself. This is proven by cognitive behavioral therapy for insomnia. CBT-I, cognitive behavioral therapy for insomnia, outperforms sleep medication in long-term outcomes. The American Academy of Sleep Medicine recommends it as first-line treatment. Sleeping pills don't produce normal sleep architecture. They produce a chemical imitation of it. The difference is significant. Let's come back to where we started. Hunter-gatherers didn't sleep 8 hours. They slept when it got dark. They woke with the dawn. They weren't afraid of waking in the night. They didn't measure sleep in hours. Their system wasn't broken because their environment matched their biology. Our environment changed faster than biology could evolve. 200 years, while evolutionary cycles are measured in millennia. You are the same human being as 30,000 years ago, with the same brain, the same hormones, the same circadian system. The only difference is how well your environment matches what that system was built for. 3 things worth remembering. First, just over 6 hours of sleep is the biological norm for most people, not 8. Second, evening light is the most powerful enemy of normal sleep. 90 minutes of melatonin lost every night, literally. Third, waking at night is not a disorder. It's an ancient biological program. Your reaction to it matters more than the fact of it. You are not broken. Your sleep is not broken. The environment doesn't match. And that is fixable. Start small. Put the phone away an hour before bed. Open the window at night. Wake up at the same time every morning. 3 changes. No pills, no special equipment. Based on how your brain actually works, not on how the workday is structured. Restful sleep is not a luxury. It is biology, and it is on your side.